Yes, welcome here to Semple Stadium in Thurles on what is a glorious afternoon. There was one doubt, of course, regarding who would play in midfield alongside Ollie Baker for Clare. Well, the team news there is that it will be young John Redden. He'll wear number 19. He's 19 years of age as well, and of course was captain of last year's victorious Clare minor winning team. Jamesy O'Connor scored his 100th point with his 5th and last point in the match played just 7 days ago, and here he is just shaping up to a couple of practice points for frees and so on before the start of the match, as Clare go down now to have the photographs taken. So the fans who gave Clare an absolutely tremendous ovation. The Clare public have certainly responded to the calls by their manager Gerlach Nahan to be sure to be here on this particular Saturday afternoon. And the men with the cameras are recording the photographs. Brian Lohan there going in alongside the Sparrow and alongside his own brother Frank as well. 19 is John Redden, as I say, big, strong, sturdy fellow who will play in midfield alongside Ollie Baker, about whom there was, of course, a doubt. He has a back problem, but he's been past sufficiently fit to start. In the absence of Colin Lynch, I quite honestly couldn't have seen Clare start this match without their tremendous number 9, Baker. It's a full house this afternoon. 50,000 people or thereabouts are in Semple Stadium. It's a gloriously sunny afternoon. Little or no breeze to worry about or concern ourselves about for the afternoon. But the Clare fans, I think, outnumber the Offaly people who are way down on the right-hand side of the field by just a little. The Offaly team just continuing their preparation. It's exactly the same as that which was selected on Tuesday night, and that's the very, very light breeze that's here this afternoon, blowing across, if anything. Joe Dooley playing at his 44th championship match for his side this afternoon, and that wonderful splash of green, white and gold. They had that flag out on Croke Park, but that's a different story after the match last Saturday. Well, Clare have had their injury concerns, of course, and their team has remained cautiously under wraps until a few minutes ago. And then we got the news that told you that John Redden chosen to start in midfield alongside Ollie Baker. Well, up front, the one change from last week has been the selection of Gerald Loughlin at full forward in place of hamstring victim Barry Murphy. Murphy's a loss. He got 2 points in that particular match and looked very lively. And the Clare substitutes this afternoon, well, you've got the Scanlons there. And in fact, there are a couple of additions to that particular list. David Hagerty is number 26, and number 25 will be Danny Scanlon, and that was announced just a few seconds ago. And John Redden, of course, stepping up from number 19 to play in midfield. But just listen to the ovation of the crowd, getting right behind the two teams, even before the off here. There's a tremendous atmosphere, as always. And Offaly, stuck with convention for the replayed semi-final, announced their 15 during the week. It's firmly believed to be their strongest starting side, with Billy Dooley and Joe Erity now on the full forward line, and Paddy Mulher back in midfield. Elsewhere, Brian Wheelahan reverts to right half back, having been switched into the forward 7 days ago. By our calculations, only 3 players of the 15 remained in their starting positions throughout the match, and one of those was the goalkeeper. Well, it's been said that if you bring on your strongest 15 at the start of the match, there's not a great deal in reserve, but the Hanafis are still there, Darren and Gary, and of course several other players who also figured in this year's championship, such as Killian Farrell and Colm Cassidy, and their manager there, Michael Bond. What a great job he's done. And the referee for this afternoon's match, it's Dickie Murphy. I'm told that the man who refereed the last 2 games, Jimmy Cooney, is here among the crowd to enjoy the action, but it's very definitely Dickie Murphy in charge, along with Michael Bodkin and Éadon Moxibne, the linesman. Welcome back. You join us, as Michael says, for the anthem. Looks on, the anthem played by the St Patrick's brass band from Cashel, who tell me they're ready to play at Slane Castle if requested this weekend. The Clare fans, don't worry about that particular event. Big and all as it is, it's all about getting that place in the All-Ireland hurling final of 1998. Dickie Murphy in charge. He's refereed in 2 of Clare's successes at All-Ireland final level. He's refereed them at semi-final level as well, he says. And so we're now just seconds away. Johnny Dooley has gone into midfield straight away. That's the switch that Offaly has made. Johnny Pilkington alongside him. Sean McMahon with the first clearance of the day for Clare. Downfield it goes towards David Ford. And David has popped up, as you see straight away, at top of the left. Changes aplenty. John Troy has gone into full forward, as you see there, being marked by Brian Lohan. And we'll try and make sense of the rest as the match gets underway. Michael Dignan, for instance, he's right half forward on Anthony Daly, Clare's team captain. Simon Wheelahan knocking a brilliant line ball down towards John Troy. Knocked ahead towards Billy Dooley. Joe Dooley's there as well. Michael Dignan trying to kick it ahead, anyway will do. Billy Dooley with the hand pass back towards his brother Joe. Got the first point of the match 7 days ago, and he's done it again. An amazing start by Offaly and by Joe Dooley, getting that first point after about 45 seconds. It followed that brilliant sideline cut by Simon Wheelahan, the hand pass back from Billy Dooley to his elder brother, and Offaly take the lead. David Fitzgerald playing in his 25th championship match this afternoon towards Ollie Baker, there against Johnny Dooley. This is Brian Wheelahan, fresh air puck there by David Ford. Good ball ahead. Again, that ball taken up smartly by Billy Dooley. Can he be the architect of a second point? Johnny, his brother, 65 metres out, closed down by Ollie Baker. Frank Lohan is coming thundering out from that half back line of all places. Cross towards Jamesy O'Connor. Now trying to set up Clare's first attack. Chased by Johnny Dooley. He beats him for pace. Good ball inside towards Niall Gilligan. Great block down. Martin Hannamy in there. And so too is Herbert Rigney. Good ball down towards Joe Erity. He's playing on the 40, but he's beaten by this one by Sean McMahon. What a start to the match. Wonderful effort, great skill, good ball inside there to tease that Offaly defence. Martin Hannamy gets up there first, out towards Hubert Rigney and Brian Wheelahan. Wheelahan on his left-hand side. Comes down here towards Michael Dignan. Dignan has been jeered and booed because of what happened 7 days ago. The Clare following field, he should have been sent off that day, but he wasn't. Here's Brian Lohan, hooked splendidly by John Troy. Lohan again with a wonderful ball downfield. Helen Martin rises up for that one, didn't quite make a connection. Comes back down here to John Redden, the new man in. Good ball ahead there. That's Alan Markham wearing the helmet at the start of the match. Fergie Toohey, one-handed forward, stopped by Kevin Martin. Down towards Joe Erity. A very fast start to the match, didn't make a great connection, but still got a good ball into Joe Dooley. Can he produce the second point of the day? He can! What a start by Joe Dooley. Operating atop of the left. The man who was marking him, by the way, is Brian Quinn. But Quinn gave him an awful lot of latitude after this ball was played down here for Joe. Good turn and a very good shot. Now listen to the Offaly fans. They got a lead off the last day. They don't particularly like playing in Semple Stadium. It hasn't been a lucky ground down the years, but they're doing pretty okay so far. Brian Wheelahan, remember, they also led by 2 points 7 days ago. Nicely taken up by Brian Quinn, trying to get it out towards Frank Lowen. Stopped by Joe Dooley, picked up by his brother Billy, but colliding into him is Sean McMahon, and that's going to be a free in, and Billy down there wounded and in some distress. Watch for McMahon coming in, and he really took the wind out of Billy Dooley's sails. So straight away it's the case of bringing on the doc, and that's Dr. Brendan Lee. So early stages in the match, but it's taken on a similar pattern to what happened in the second game between these teams. But now John Troika put them 3 ahead. It's a very good position for him, some 25 metres out. Very light breeze about. And John Troy plays it over the bar. His first free, his first point. John playing in his 23rd championship match. Of course, that player has come back from a nasty car accident. 9 years ago, he was facing Clare in the minor All-Ireland final as a goalkeeper. And up at the other end, David Fitzgerald, the man pucking the ball out here. That's tapped on there by Ollie Baker. John Redden racing after it. Out towards Michael Duignan, again the booing. It's not upsetting him, that's down, right down into the inside forward line. Brian Quinn coming across here to take that ball. Play it out towards Anthony Daly. Clare's most successful captain ever. That's a great catch by Brian Wheelahan. Left-handed and then right-handed away. Towards Paddy Mulhare, he's playing it left half forward on Liam Doyle. Man who looked much more like himself in the second game, in what we assume is going to be a 3-part series. John Redden. Oh, that's gone straight to Kevin Martin. Now Johnny Dooley. Dooley has been marked here by Frank Lowen. It's Billy Dooley, in fact. 2 Dooleys operating in and around the half-forward line. But Frank Lowen followed him all the way out there. So another free. This is the catch just a moment ago here by the man who's now about to step up and take the free. Brian Wheelahan, unusually less than effective at half-back last time around. But in the first game, remember all those long-range frees? This is from just inside the 65-metre line, and it's perfectly positioned and goes straight over the bar. That's a great start by Offaly. And Clare have now given them a 4-point advantage. Not as great as the advantage, I think, that Derry gave to goal, because in hurling it's so faster, so much faster, and so many scoring opportunities created. Nice pick up here by the Munster and All-Ireland champion star Jamesy O'Connor. That's a free to Clare, and they're bringing up Sean McMahon to hit this one. Kevin Martin got a knock on the head. Now, Sean McMahon struck 3 magnificent 65s that really lifted his team when it was needed. This is just inside the 65-metre line. That's a great shot. He's done it so many times before here in Thurles. And Clare get their first point with just over 7 minutes gone. Stephen Burns puck out. Joe Erity coming to jump for it, just behind Ollie Baker. It's Anthony Daly who drives it ahead towards David Ford from O'Gunalow. Didn't make a good connection, he was trying to pass it to Fergie Toohey. Comes back towards Daly. Redden gets in the way, tries to knock it forward. Ball picked off the ground by Ollie Baker. Free downfield to Offaly. Well, that was a wonderful free to really lift the Banner County. OK, it was 65 metres out, but it was actually further out than that in a way, because it was so near the far sideline. This is Brian Wheelahan from Burr, and he's just inside his own 65-metre line. Dropping it in towards Joe Dooley. Brian Quinn there as well, his marker. John Troy. They had Paddy Mulhare coming through. Frank Lowen trying to stop the flow there towards the Clare goal area. Brian Quinn picks it up. Joe Dooley trying to hook him. Getting it out here as far as Ollie Baker. And Clare really need a big performance from Baker. Badly hit by the 3-month suspension of Colin Lynch. and many of their players with injuries as well coming into the tie. And some day it may well take its toll. Both sides this afternoon, of course, playing their 6th championship match, and when you compare that with the team who are already in the final, Kilkenny, well, Kilkenny will have played 1 championship match in 10 weeks by the time they get to play that final. It's Ollie Baker who's going to hit it. Not a great connection. Johnny Dooley is there instead. Here's Daly, moving forward. Dignan's alongside him, 65 metres out. Dropped beautifully in there. Kevin Kinahan trying to get it away. Simon Whelan's after it as well. Didn't make a good connection, and now it's the turn of the goalkeeper, Stephen Byrne. Michael Dignan keeping the ball in play. Good link-up play here towards Kevin Martin. Driving it down, stopped by Sean McMahon. McMahon looking for a second point to really lift the banner county. He's just put it to the left. The fans behind the goal at the Killiney end were ready to cheer. Well, it was a metre or so to the left. Well, one man who can't be here today is the president of the GAA, Joe McDonagh. He's in Paris and he's watching the game on TV. And best wishes to you from the home of hurling. And of course the Galway under-21s, Joe, with a very good win this afternoon. This is some holding, and that's going to be a free for Clare. Michael Dignan not the most popular. Daly to take it. Just 3 between the teams, and 10 minutes gone. A huge one in towards the Sparrow, and a great catch once again by Kevin Kinahan. 2 great catches so far, one by Kinahan, one by Whelan, down towards Erity. Dignan has it. If anything, the jeering and the booing is serving to just motivate him even more. Here's Joe Dooley. Made a great start to the match, trying to link over there with Paddy Mulhare. This is Anthony Daly. Ollie Baker cleverly working it to John Redden, the 19-year-old looking for his first point in championship hurling at senior level, and it's come in the 11th minute. That's a tremendous point by John Redden, forming a solid alliance with Ollie Baker in midfield, and only 2 between them. But it was the 2 midfielders who combined. The hand pass from Baker, but that wonderful shot off his left from John Redden. Byrne with the puck out. A very fast match. Both sides giving it their all. Here's Johnny Dooley trying to press forward, operating out of midfield, wearing number 10. And that's gone to the left. Offaly's first wide. Well, for amateur players to keep going through the paces, Kevin Keenan with that fantastic catch down at the other end, it really is something. David Fitzgerald pucking out towards Fergie Toohey. Stopped here by Brian Wheelahan. Much more himself this afternoon. The crossfield pass to Paddy Mulhare. Down towards John Troy. Trying to slip inside Brian Lone, who's lost his helmet. Still Troy. Looking lively, scampering away from the challenge. An overhit pass out over to Joe Dooley. And that's come to John Redden of Clare. Redden needing a bit of assistance, getting it from Brian Quinn. Way downfield towards the Sparrow. This time he makes the fantastic catch. Outside towards Niall Gilligan. The dancing feet of Gilligan, taking him away from the challenges. Back in towards the Sparrow. Martin Hannamy just knocked it away over this side of the field. And that's going to be a Clare sideline ball. Wow, what pace there is in this match. Fantastic so far. Baker cutting in brilliantly, looking to cut the lead to 1. That's a great point from the sideline ball. Awfully slow to pick up Ollie Baker, and the 2 midfielders now for Clare have scored the last 2 points. It's so simple here. The marking was very slack. Johnny Dooley very slow to close in on Ollie Baker, and that was enough for the Garda based in Ballinasloe. Stephen Byrne, the minimum separating the teams. Baker again, trying to break that one inside there. It's Brian Wheelahan, trying to link up with Michael Dignan. Daly's there for Clare. Brian Wheelahan kicking it ahead. Fergie too is trying to dispossess him. Down it goes towards Billy Dooley. Frank Lowen chasing after him. And Frank Lowen one-handed getting away towards John Redden in the middle of the field. Picked up by Dignan. Here's Anthony Daly. Clare are fired up following the concession of 4 points early on in the game. Here's Kevin Keenahan, trying to get that ball away. Martin Hanamy's there, and in the end it's worked out to Kevin Martin. Brian Lohan has missed it. Frank Lohan and Sean McMahon go back there to help. It's McMahon who gets it out to Brian Lohan. Huge cheer from the banner following. Up beautifully there. Here's a scoring chance, and there's the equaliser, and Alan Markham has put it over the bar. Man of the match 7 days ago. A goal of 3 points then. A point today will do. Conor Houlihan in there, one of the spectators in that Clare section. And we've got some sideline news with the match tied up at 4 points apiece from Marty Morrissey.
Interesting that it's Alan Markham that has just scored that point, because after the Ollie Baker point, Ger Loughnane immediately switched David Ford back out onto the wing and Markham into the corner, where he played very well the last day on Simon Wheelahan.
Back here in the middle of the field, it's Johnny Dooley. Nicely ball outside there towards Brian Wheelahan. In towards Joe Dooley. Getting it with the second touch. Taking it away from Sean McMahon. Little snapshot saved there by David Fitzgerald, but a chance now for a quick and rapid counter-attack before the Offaly backs can get back into position. Into position they are, and Hanamy is there to stop them. Foul as he was taking it out. And Martin Hanamy has been one of the great servants of Offaly hurling over the years. Today playing his 33rd match. And Fergie too, he's got a head injury, we notice. Hanamy really has had another storming match. Toohey there, he's been in the wars here before. I remember against Tipperary last year, also got a little nasty eye injury in the Munster final. And I said to him afterwards, ooh, that looks nasty, and you should maybe have been wearing a helmet. But he just made the point, it was worth it, boy. Ger Loughnane very concerned. Toohey has also got hamstring trouble. You just never know when that old hamstring just might go, what a loss he would be. Clare have already had to twist and turn and change their team many times throughout the championship. They've kept us all guessing as to the lineup, but that's all part of the fun and games. Stephen Byrne, 16 minutes gone, 4 points apiece. Ollie Baker leaving that one out there for Liam Doyle, beating a couple of Offaly men to it. David Ford trying to take it down. They try to get it away here to Brian Wheelahan. Wheelahan has basically followed Ford just about everywhere he's gone. Dignan trying to follow it through. Well, they had a couple of others there supporting him, like Billy Dooley, and the referee Dickie Murphy watching a bit of a wild pull. Frank Lohan there making his case to the referee, and they decide to bring the goalkeeper out to take the long range free. On the ground where he scored that memorable penalty in the 1995 Munster final. The battle-scarred Fergie Toohey there as well, waiting for the ball to come from Davy Fitzgerald. Hubert Rigney batting back. Keenahan was coming out. Markham dispossessed. Jamesy O'Connor, impish player, blocked down there by Hubert Rigney, and this time the block down by Jamesy from Kevin Martin. Very near the sideline, and the linesman Michael Bodkin from Galway trying to make his mind up here. He's going to throw the ball in between two, and everybody has to be back 13 metres for that. Never quite made the distance, but a metre. This time the decision is going Offaly's way. Midway through the first half. So it'll be Simon Wheelahan to cut this one in. On a splendid surface, usually brilliantly prepared by Jimmy Purcell, and it is once again this afternoon. Coming out to take this one here is Joe Erity, the powerhouse man who got the penalty. This time it's Brian Lohan with a fantastic dispossession. Down towards the other full-back, Kevin Keenan put under pressure. Gilligan's going through, and he's fouled outside the 20-metre line. And here's a chance for Clare to take the lead for the first time in the game. Just a little exchange of views between Gilligan and one or two others. But it's a free in. Jamesy O'Connor is going to take it. I mentioned before the start of the match that he scored his 100th point in Championship hurling 7 days ago, and this should be 101. Jamesy, playing his 21st Championship match, gives Clare the lead. First time they have led in the game. She's delighted, they're all happy. And Jamesy operating at left half forward. Tui continuing on the 40, David Ford right half forward. Stephen Byrne with the puck out. It's a good long one down towards John Troy. Runs towards Joe Erity, who's now gone into full forward in a switch with John Troy. Hubert Rigney back there. Very dominating figure. It's a great ball down towards Michael Dignan. Lets it run on, however. Davy Fitzgerald coming out, making the save. Baseball hat keeping the sun out of his eyes. Tremendous clearance. Down towards Brian Wheelahan, playing it left half back just now because David Ford's going to cross there. Johnny Dooley outside here. Johnny Pilkington comes onto it. He gets another point. First of the day. He got 1-1 in the first game. He got a point last Saturday and another one here now, and he ties it up at 5 points apiece. It was played beautifully outside to the waiting Johnny Pilkington from some distance out, and the Burman sticks it over the bar. 5 each. Tremendous game. David Fitzgerald pucking out towards John Redden. That's a great catch by Redden in his Championship debut. Inside towards Gilligan. Dropped it. Comes back, takes it again. Well, I think when he just dropped it, he lost the initiative slightly and gave it to the Offaly backs. But Clare, for a side who like to bamboozle us with the many switches and changes, they're playing exactly as they would right now from 7-8 upwards. The half-back backline's exactly the same, and the only switch right now are the two cornerbacks. Here's Liam Doyle, and passing it back towards Brian Quinn. Had his problems the last day when Billy Dooley came on. Wheelahan trying to take it down to himself. Such a wonderful hurling figure. Nicely across towards Billy Dooley. Brian Lohan out there winning the race again. So fit, so sharp. That's a little block in it, however. Comes to Billy Dooley, and that's sent over the ball. Billy's first. One of the 3 Dooleys from Sir Kieran's in the little village of Clarine in County Offaly. And Offaly lead. The lead switching hands as that clearance there by Brian Lohan was just blocked down, and Billy Dooley did the rest. So again, the lead changing hands. David Fitzgerald towards this side of the field, where it's Jamesy O'Connor against Kevin Martin. Jamesy trying to take it off, Wheelahan getting it away, back by Daly, in towards Tui. Martin trying to get it clear. David Ford won't come up for him, hit away in the end by Hubert Rigney. John Troy, stick broken. Brian Wheelahan going down to try and make amends for the one that was blocked, but there was little he could do about it. Daly's clearance into the half-forward line. Once again, it's Hubert Rigney saving that one. Brian Lohan leaping up into the air, batting it down. A couple of Offaly players waiting for it there. It's Michael Dignan. He'd like to score, but this one is going away to the left. And it's the biggest cheer of all so far today when he misses. This puck out, dropping about 50 metres out from the Offaly goal. Michael Dignan beaten for it by Ollie Baker. Sideline ball to Offaly. Gerlach now trying to make a couple of switches. He's talking there with Fergie Tui and Alan Markham as well. He's brought David Ford to top of the left, by the way, in a switch. He's trying to get his half-forward line going, I think. Markham is now at centre half-forward, Tui at right half-forward. Meanwhile, back there at centre-back, Sean McMahon. Not a great clearance. Johnny Dooley comes onto it. Tui tries to dispossess him. Out towards Brian Wheelahan. This time getting it onto his right-hand side. Nicely inside. Joe Erity misses, however, and that has gone wide, and it's a third wide now of the match for Offaly so far. Clare with 2 wides. Well, we've got a break here. Let's go down to the sideline and to Marty.
Once again, Gerlochnan has made a tactical switch, this time to reduce Hubert Rigney's dominance at centre-half back. Alan Markham has been moved now to centre-half forward.
Yeah, it's a switch we had just noted in the last couple of seconds as Gerlochnan was making it to try and get things going. Free to Offaly. Brian Wheelahan has come across to take it. Johnny Pilkington comes back to mark his man right now, who is Alan Markham. That's the angle. It's a huge distance out now. He's inside his own 65-metre line. Lobbed in there towards Paddy Mulher and beats them all. Paddy sadly an absentee from the match last Saturday. His dad very sadly died the night before. We send the Mulher family our deepest condolences. Michael Bond pacing up and down the sideline here. He's done a great job because they've got better and better under his management. Ollie Baker trying to win that ball in midfield, but is beaten for it by Johnny Pilkington. Down towards Billy Dooley. Dooley against Frank Lohan. That's the duel out there at top of the right. Lohan did his stuff. Just put Billy off his stride somewhat. Michael Bond had a quick word with him off the side of the field. The 3 Offaly selectors are having a quick confab right now about possible switches. Paddy Mulher there alongside Pat Maloney. There they are, the 3 of them having a little word. There might be a need for a change. And about to make a change are Clare. They are about to introduce a fresh man. I think it'll be Fergal Hegarty pretty soon. We follow the play and John Troy goes down. Frank Lohan comes across. Billy Dooley trying to pick it up onto his stick. Lohan trying to get it away. Paddy Mulher was coming in. Frank Lohan, a good hand pass out to Liam Doyle with 9 minutes to go to half-time. A flying first half. Brian Wheelahan, pressure applied. Simon Wheelahan there having the pressure applied on him there by David Ford. It's Niall Gilligan back into the centre. Ford has the chance and he puts it over the bar. Good point by David. It's come out here again. Joe Dooley. Well, that was a little amazing incident just moments ago there as Clare stand firm, and it's Brian Lohan. Huge one in again. Running in there this time, David Ford, good stop. And this time Simon Wheelahan is there close to the end line. Play on, the umpire says, but a good save by Stephen Byrne. Brian Wheelahan leaving it there for Kevin Keenahan. Held in the air by Ollie Baker. John Troy's chasing after him. It's still Ollie Baker. Pucked inside there towards the Sparrow. Might break down for somebody. Jersey held. Out in the end by Hubert Rigney. Sean McMahon owning the exchanges in the middle there. Down towards Simon Wheelahan's corner. David Ford's there as well, so too is the Sparrow. Ger O'Loughlin has support here. It's Jamesy O'Connor, looks around cleverly. John Redden looking for his second point of the match, and this has gone to the right. This is what happens just moments ago here, as that ball went in and off the goalkeeper's hand, came down. David Ford was denied, and there is a change about to be made, and coming in for Offaly is Gary Hannafy. And Fergie Toohey is also going off the Clare team. I saw Fergal Hegarty being prepared, so I assume he's the one who's come in. I'm just having a little look around to see who's going off. It's Paddy Mulher. So Paddy Mulher is off and Gary Hannafy is on. So each side has made a switch with some 7 minutes to go to half-time. Here's Brian Wheelahan. First chance then for Gary Hannafy. Sean McMahon. Inside here towards Fergal Hegarty, the man from Kilnamona. His brother is also a member of the panel. David Ford, that's a lovely Pick up by Ford, and he drives it over the bar. So now it's 6 points apiece, and they're level for the third time in this match. A lovely first touch by Ford made this possible. Just picked it up, slipped away from his man, into space. Nothing too complicated, but a great score. So it's looking like anybody's match at this stage. Kevin Keenahan coming across. Keenahan nicely down towards John Troy. Billy Dooley trying to get in on the blind side there with Joe Erity. Erity beating his man, who is Brian Lohan, trying to slip inside, but to drive his way through if at all possible. He had the latitude, and he's made the point. Delighted Offaly fans down there at the city end, saluting Joe Erity's first point. Just beat Brian Lohan to it, turned inside, then turned outside again. Was almost bulldozing his way through. Some would say he took too much time and too many steps. Point was allowed, however. David Fitzgerald's puck out as Offaly lead. Clash of the sticks in midfield. Johnny Pilkington driving it down towards Billy Dooley. But Billy hadn't a chance of getting next to near that one. Billy going back to pick up Anthony Daly as the sideline ball is about to be cut by Frank Lohan. He's got Ger Loughnane just behind him there, as you can see. The other two selectors up along this near sideline. Sails in there beautifully. Nicely taken. Alan Markham. Markham and Redden were close to another. It was Markham who was hitting it over the sideline, however he was stepping, and it's going to be a sideline ball for Offaly. Michael Bond on a very hot afternoon, just giving some liquid refreshments to Simon Whelan. It's so important for all these players, after all the energy they've expended in recent weeks, to take as much liquid as possible on board in the course of major matches. This is as big a championship match as you could wish for outside of the All-Ireland final itself. Whelan making a wonderful cut, stopped by Liam Doyle. Driven back towards Johnny Pilkington, but there was a push there by Jamesy O'Connor on Johnny Pilkington. Jamesy was arguing the toss with the referee, who shows that he's not going to take any messing whatsoever. He makes the decisions, he has the respect of all of the players, and his decision this time is free to Offaly. Brian Whelan the taker. Ahead by 1 point. Dropped in beautifully towards Joe Erity. Didn't make a connection because Brian Lohan was there and did enough to snuff it away from him. It's Gary Hannafy there beside him, but he still gets the clearance in towards Alan Markham. Been marked by Brian Whelan. That's some shoulder from Markham. The 19-year-old has made a major impression in this year's championship. Operating now at centre half forward, being marked by Hubert Rigney as Martin Hannamy comes to take this one. From St. Rina's in Banagher, of course, Martin. Good cut, down towards Joe Dooley. Skids away from him. Picked up by his brother Billy. The hand pass outside to Gary Hannafy. Here's his chance. He had the latitude. He puts it over the bar. And Offaly have a 2-point lead. Hannafy's first score since been introduced as a sub just minutes ago. And it's 8 points to 6. This was just that hand pass outside there brilliantly by Billy Dooley to Gary Hannafy, and he did the rest. Just got enough space from Liam Doyle. Mention of Liam Doyle, here he is. Well, he was running after that one, and I'm not sure that injury that he had a few weeks ago has cured 100% so far. We're close to half-time. Under 2 minutes to go. Clare making 14 chances, Offaly 13. As you can see the score, it's 8-6 in Offaly's favour. Brian Lohan leaving that one there for the other Brian Quinn. Up towards Niall Gilligan. Martin Hannafy. Martin Hannafy again, trying to get that ball away under incessant pressure. Great pick up by Martin Hannafy. Gilligan standing over him there. Spills away. Brian Wheelahan trying to get that ball loose and clear. Nice catch by Johnny Dooley. Offaly made the better start of this match, led by 4 points. Then Clare got ahead 5 points to 4. There's a late pull there, and it's going to be a free from where the ball lands. And there could be a Clare man in trouble here. It's Ollie Baker, I think, being isolated by the referee. The man who's down injured is Brian Wheelahan. The lecture being given by Dickie Murphy to Ollie Baker. Ollie is getting the name taken, Brian's getting the treatment, and it's a booking for Baker. This time it's the jeering from the Offaly fans. Watch again here, and the very top of the frame there, you'll just see that clash which resulted in the injury. He was booked just immediately afterwards. So still some concern and some running repairs for Brian Wheelahan. We see it again here. Baker coming across, and he chopped down onto the hand, in fact, of Brian Wheelahan. Regarded as rough play. Feeling the left hand, able to continue, thankfully. And the interval break will be coming up very shortly. As you can see, we're into injury time. So the free now will be from where the ball landed. The foul occurred about 30 metres out. The free is 60 metres from the Clare goal. And Brian Wheelahan has come across to hit this one. Can the man who was fouled complete this movement with a score? The answer is a very definite yes. 2 points from 2 frees by Brian Wheelahan. And he's opened up a 3-point gap against the Munster and All-Ireland champions. What an exciting next 35 minutes we should have here. Offaly lead by 3. Remember the last day? They trailed by 3. Michael Bodkin gives the decision in Offaly's favour. Simon Wheelahan about to take the sideline ball. The referee, as you can see, adding on about 90 seconds so far of injury time. Dickie Murphy now saying that's it. It certainly is. Offaly made a brilliant start to the match. Joe Dooley was there scoring, Brian Wheelahan was starring, and in he comes, a little battered, but he got 2 marvellous points from frees. Martin Hannafy saying to him, well done. And the All-Ireland champions having a bit of a battle on their hands, as we always expected they would. It's going to make for exciting fun for the next half. 35 minutes to go. And of course Offaly lead here in Semple Stadium by 9 points to 6. Bang on cue, because Dickie Murphy is just about to throw the ball in for the start of the second half. And now it is Clare attacking the goal away down to our right. David Ford straight away, trying to cut down the leeway. Fergal Hegarty with a shot. He's put it wide, however, first wide of the second half in the first 15 seconds. Hegarty is now operating at right half forward, it seems, just looking across the line to see what kind of switches or changes they've made. Ah yes, Jamesy O'Connor has gone into midfield alongside Ollie Baker, and James is lining up alongside Johnny Pilkington. Johnny Dooley is on Ollie Baker. Meanwhile, the clash in there involving Darren Hannafy. Here's Johnny Dooley inside towards Joe Erity. Brian Lohan trying to get the ball out, put under pressure. Billy Dooley's there too. Frank Lohan trying to get the ball up onto his stick. What a tie it's been so far. Hugely enjoyable. Down towards Fergal Hegarty, got a clip on the hand that time. Gets possession, however. Angling this one across. This was a tactic that Clare used in the second match, putting the ball in between half back and corner back. And it worked to great effect. So that'll be a sideline ball for Clare as David Ford makes his way back in. Joe Dooley, one of the stars for Offaly in the opening 35 minutes. Jamesy O'Connor cutting this one over to the Sparrow. Haven't seen anything at all of him so far. Out to Johnny Pilkington. Had the vision to pick out his midfield partner, Johnny Dooley. Up towards brother Billy. Frank Lowen gets there first. Billy persisting, comes back off his foot. Back to Lowen. But to burrow his way out here with skill and with class. Well, the pass was intended for Fergal Hegarty, but it was always getting closer to the sideline. Hegarty, the fresh man in during that first half for Clare. It's going to be Brian Whelan to take it. I think a tremendous match. Good cut up to Joe Dooley, racing out ahead of Brian Quinn. Brian Quinn again beaten by Joe Dooley. Now the angle tight enough, but not so tight that Joe can master it to get his third point of the match. And certainly Brian Quinn will remember his afternoon marking Joe Dooley. And it's 10 points to 6. It's a great start to the second half for Offaly. But look at the pace of the veteran. And Joe Dooley swings it over the bar in his 15th championship season, remember. Gary Hannafy going up to take that one. Johnny Dooley hoping the ball would bounce up nicely for him. Had to get it the second time, putting in the shot again, and that's another fantastic shot. Johnny Dooley puts it over the bar, and the gap widens even more. Defiant Offaly fans. They wanted their second match, as it were. Feeling they were denied last Saturday, they've got it, and their team is taking its chance, and they've got a 5-point lead. Remember, it's the beaten Leinster finalists here against the Munster and All-Ireland champions. John Redden down towards David Ford. Simon Whelan closing in on him. Kevin Martin's there too. Redden again knocking it ahead, but Hubert Rigney, he's picked up just about everything like a vacuum cleaner, getting it down into the opposing half forward line, half back line. Billy Dooley put in there only as far as Jamesy O'Connor. Broken across there. Niall Gilligan has taken off the black helmet. Martin Hannamy having Gilligan close to him, and that's gone behind for the game's very first 65. We had a free for Clare in the first half, their first point, which was actually from the 65-metre line, but it wasn't in fact awarded for a defensive player putting the ball out over his own end line. This is the first. McMahon did it for them in the past. He got them underway this afternoon. This is an absolutely crucial 65. Strange to say that so early in the half. It's dropped in there, but it's dropped to the left. And still 5 points the margin. But loads and loads of time remaining for the All-Ireland champions. But their followers looking quite glum, needing a bit of a lift. Stephen Byrne about to puck out. Ollie Baker in there contesting, getting it away towards John Redden. Tall order to expect a youngster like Redden to come into his first championship match, right into the engine of the team in midfield. Jamesy O'Connor doing that now. Good ball ahead. Martin Hannamy coming across. First touch not good. Gilligan's after it. Still Gilligan stealing in. Hannamy gets it back, only as far as the Sparrow. Rigney was in there next to help alongside Simon Whelan. Whelan dropping at a good 70 metres downfield. And it's a sideline ball for the Bannermen. Billy Dooley protesting. Michael Bodkin, the linesman, he's been officiating at all 3 matches. Same as Eildon Moxibna on this near side. Anthony Daly, team captain from Clare Castle, getting a very good connection inside there towards Alan Markham. Swept back out again by Simon Whelan. Anthony Daly appreciating that Billy Dooley was coming alongside him and behind him. Taps it back there to the waiting Frank Lowen. Markham chases after this one. That's Johnny Pilkington with the clearance, reaching up to the clouds to take it down magnificently. That was superb play there. Sean McMahon with the hand pass inside. That's beautifully inside. Ford's coming through. Ford trying to link up a hand pass anywhere. And this particular Ford just running out of petrol, it seems. Gets it out towards Johnny Dooley. Redden trying to get away from the challenge of Gary Hannafy. Next in to challenge Michael Dignan. Flashing shot inside there towards the Sparrow, breaking it down. Ford coming back onto it 20 metres out, and that's gone over the bar. It's Clare's first point of the second half, and it's credited to David Ford, his second point. Remember, one of his earlier efforts was saved by the goalkeeper high up over the crossbar and cleared. Well, that's point number 2, and now the margin is down to 4 points. Now the Clare fans coming to life once again. Stephen Byrne's mighty puck out into the middle of the field. Ollie Baker, tremendous catch with that right hand, looking up, showing awareness. Pilkington's after him. Baker still hampered by a back injury, clearly hampered in the first half and not at his most effective. But now a look at disbelief on his face as the linesman gives the decision Offaly's way. Simon Whelan about to take it. One of 3 Whelan brothers involved in the Offaly panel this year. The referee seeing a couple of Offaly mentors running in. Johnny Pilkington needing a fresh stick there. The man who supplied it was Pat McLaughlin, one of the selectors. Whelan about to take it. Great ball. Well taken again by Sean McMahon, another player to discard the black helmet. David Ford still wearing his. Angling this one across towards Niall Gilligan, making the catch. That's important. Getting away from Hannamy, and it's over the bar. Clare striking another bit of good form. Gilligan's first of the day. So valuable. It's when he got out there ahead of Martin Hannamy to take possession cleanly. Look how far he had to go out to get enough space, but he got it and he made it. 3 between them. Terrific tie. Gary Hannafy, wonderful catch, running into his own man Joe Erity. Now he's in the clear, chased by Sean McMahon, and McMahon has just done enough to put him off his stride. Hannamy protesting, I think, that there was a little block on it, and it might have been a 65, but the umpire not interested, nor the referee. David Fitzgerald from 6 Mile Bridge. Gerlach now down in front of you saying, come on, hit the ball out. They're still waving their hands for Fitzgerald to get that ball down fast. But still, hardly 10 minutes gone in the second half. Hubert Rigney against Alan Markham. Bit of a pile-up. Referee in quickly. Brian Whelan down there. Injured his left hand in the first half. Gerlach Nan there, the man who's done so much for Clare hurling. Ball about to be thrown. Picked up here by John Redden, trying to take himself away from the markers. Ollie Baker trying to flick it outside of Fergal Hayward. He didn't come up for him. Whelan needing the assistance of Martin Hannamy. Hannamy hand passing it into the clear to Kevin Martin. Kevin Martin's long range clearance in towards John Troy. Coming across to take it is Frank Lowen. Both Lowen superb in that Clare full back line as always. Sean McMahon giving Anthony Daly a lot to do. Johnny Dooley is there instead. Again looking up to try and spot where his brother Joe has gone. It was swept back there by Frank Lowen, intended for Brian Quinn. And the linesman, I don't think is 100% certain as to who touched it last. Looks like he's going to throw the ball in. And the referee has given it to Offaly, I think clearly feeling that he had a better view of it than the linesman. So it's going to be Johnny Dooley. A point so far. Quite capable of putting this one over the bar from the sideline cut. They wait inside. The imperious Brian Lowen waiting. Dooley strikes it, but not a good one this time. Joe Dooley, his brother, gets it. Thought about the pass back out, I'm sure. Goes for the shot, and that's a magnificent point. An almost impossible angle. Joe Dooley getting the point. That's 4 in all for Michael Bond's team. Johnny with the sideline ball to his brother Joe, and it's 12 points to 8. Well, that was an amazing point by Joe Dooley, because he was almost facing out towards the far off stand, hitting it over his shoulder when he pointed. Tremendous. Clare now in a real crisis in a match which has failed to produce a goal so far. Liam Doyle. Only 4 points between the teams. But it's the quality of the Offaly performance this afternoon really putting it up to the champions. That's Alan Markham, not at his happiest out in the half-forward line so far. But then they're trying to get players to try and get their own half-forward line moving. Jamesy O'Connor playing it back into space, and Johnny Pilkington's there. Up to Gary Hannafy. Liam Doyle staying off him a bit. Doyle beaten for pace and a terrible waste by Gary Hannafy. He'd hardly believe the amount of time he was given that particular instance. He managed to get clear of Liam Doyle, who's anything but 100% fit, and Clare are about to introduce a fresh man in, and Danny Scanlon, number 25, is about to be sprung. Brian Wheelahan coming across onto it. Change hasn't been made just yet. Brian Wheelahan across beyond Joe Dooley. And Danny Scanlon has just been introduced. And now we wait to see who's about to make way. Markham is going down into the corner, I think. He's being instructed. They're reorganising things. In the end, Dickie Murphy's gone across, as Con Hoolan looks on. Dickie Murphy's gone across to Gerlock now to say, come on, take your man off, whoever he is. I think he was aware of what happened last week. Ger O'Loughlin looks like he's about to come off. But that's something similar. They brought on a 16th man and didn't take off one of the 15. Now they have done so. So Danny Scanlon is in. Can he make a change? Scanlon's gone in at left half forward. John Redden, first touch, not great. Gerlock Nan still applauding him, saying, come on, you're doing okay, keep at it. Still only 4 points in it. Only 14 minutes gone as well. Second half. Both sets of supporters getting absolutely right behind their teams. The prize for the victor, a huge one. A place in the All-Ireland final in 2 weeks' time. Here's Jamesy O'Connor, dropped it, picked it up second time. Gets away from Johnny Pilkington. Two fast men. Jamesy again, trying to spot a player loose. It's Fergal Hegarty who's gone across towards that left-hand side. Back to Anthony Daly, trying to lift his team. In beyond Gilligan, in beyond Markham as well. And wisely the Clare selectors have opted to bring Markham back into the full forward line where he can be so effective. Sean McMahon off his left-hand side, down towards Niall Gilligan. Gilligan now atop of the left, here he comes. Got Danny Scanlon outside him. Scanlon breezing in here, awkward angle, one they need, but he's just put it to the right. That's 6 wides in all now for Clare. Danny Scanlon's first, and the referee's gone down because there's an injured player, Martin Hannamy, down in the small rectangle. Not sure if he twisted something that time. We were following the flight of the ball here as Danny Scanlon was hitting it. Dickie Murphy had to hold up the match because the injured player is right in front of the goal. And Brendan Lee once again called upon to try and work the oracle. And these young Clare fans feeling, you know, we're only 4 points behind. We've done it before, I'm sure they're thinking they can do it again. Hannamy back on his feet. A grin on his face that says much about the agony he's experiencing, the pain as well, but he's playing on. Stephen Byrne's puck out for Offaly, who've been All-Ireland champions on 3 occasions, same as Clare. Here's John Redden over Hewitt Rigney's head, but not a great pass. Picked up there by Brian Wheelahan, outside here towards Johnny Dooley. Daly's there as well for Clare, and the linesman dragging furiously down the field, he's saying. Daly about to take it. Clare with just a couple of points in the second half so far, looking for another one as David Ford was getting through. He was fouled. Simon Wheelahan there having his pulling the jersey, and it's going to be a free in about 25 metres out. Jamesy O'Connor going to take it. Jamesy with just 1 point from a free so far in this match. They really need this, Clare, and he provides it. Now they're within a goal of the beaten Leinster finalists. Now who would you favour to get through to the final against Kilkenny? It's 12-9. Stephen Byrne pucking out. Gary Hanafy contesting with Liam Doyle. Runs on to Joe Dooley. He's had a great match. Hanafy picking it outside here as far as Johnny Pilkington. Johnny might have put it over the bar even from there. David Fitzgerald makes the save. Close to the sideline. Redden tries to get a stick to it. I don't think he managed to get it too far away. Went off Davy Fitzgerald. Sideline cut to Offaly. This will be taken by Johnny Pilkington. Inside there, not a great ball. Brian Quinn tries to get out there first time. The hand pass towards John Redden. Trying to take it round Johnny Pilkington. Needing support. Pilkington on his hands and knees. Joe Dooley, never so, always looks lively. But that has just gone to the right. And now we've got some more sideline news. Let's go down to Marty.
Offaly are just going to make a change. John Ryan is being introduced, and the man that's going to be coming off is in fact John Troy.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great day by John Troy's standards. Still, I think, feeling the effects of the injury that he received at the time of the car crash some weeks ago. And so John Troy goes off, and John Ryan is back in, and he's gone in at full forward. Danny Scanlon's over there contesting, but Michael Dignan trying to get it up on his stick for Offaly. Runs out of space. Anthony Daly saying it should be our sideline ball. Ollie Baker preparing to take it. Baker, a point to his credit so far. This is a great ball in, deep one, beautifully caught, and it's a great save! Alan Markham made the shot, and Byrne has made the save. Best save of the game so far. Most exciting goal chance from Ollie Baker, right in there to the danger area. Coming across was Alan Markham. What about that for a fantastic save? Oof, there wasn't much he could do last week. But my goodness, the saves he's produced in this series. And this little lad, I'm sure, is saying, come on, keep it going. Plenty of time. Sean McMahon hoping to get a point after all of that, but he's put it wide. A couple of little things happening in this match that suggest it's just not Clare's day. But only 3 between them. And as Cyril Farrell said at half-time, if they win this one, they've shown everybody and anybody that they're an absolutely wonder team. Contesting over there, Anthony Daly runs on up towards Billy Dooley. Taking it away from him is Ollie Baker. Ollie looking indestructible, taking the shoulder, making the clearance down towards that congested area. They all race in after it, but it's Brian Wheelahan again, so composed. Up towards Michael Dignan, quickly turning away from Ollie Baker. The solo by Michael Dignan, but they need the possession inside. Outside towards Billy Dooley. Angling the shot inside. Johnny Pilkington's made the run in. David Fitzgerald made the save, and the clearance for Clare. Fergal Haggerty contesting, winning this ball against Hubert Rigney. Back to John Redden. Danny Scanlon runs on towards David Ford. Ford and Markham carrying so much threat downfield. Gillingham with just 1 point so far, same as Markham. It's going to be a free, and Jamesy O'Connor is coming to take it. That's the 45-metre line. Just over 14 minutes remain. This for 2 points between the teams, and it's stopped by Kevin Martin. And Martin was deemed to have been the requisite distance, which is 20 metres from the free. Out comes Brian Wheelahan. Joe Erity trying to take it up. Liam Doyle knocking it back down towards Fergal Haggerty. Swept away by Brian Wheelahan, just enough. Joe Dooley in there against 2 men from Clare, one of them Jamesy O'Connor. Jamesy driving it down towards Niall Gilligan. Alan Markham there too. It's Markham who gets there first. The man who was denied a goal just seconds ago. Inside towards Gilligan, breaking it down towards Scanlon. They've got a man over. A great save again by Stephen Byrne. Two fantastic saves. Markham on the follow-up. What a hero Offaly have got this afternoon in their goalkeeper, Stephen Byrne, rated one of the best young goalkeepers of the year. Another block there by Brian Whalehan. Comes out to Danny Scanlon. Scanlon on the left-hand side, hitting. It's gone harmlessly wide. Just listen to the Offaly fans behind the goal now. What about this for another save? There were two players over here. Danny Scanlon hit it, and Byrne got down brilliantly. Tremendous. Well, a big change in Offaly's season. That's run all the way in. Johnny Dooley's after it. David Fitzgerald's out first. Goal mouth incidents aplenty, but the saves being made, the crucial ones by Stephen Byrne. Hegarty hitting that one down towards David Ford. Gilligan and Markham wait inside. They want the ball fast. He gives it outside to Jamesy O'Connor. Getting away from his man, who's Hubert Rigney, hitting the shot, and now it's over the bar, and the margin is down to 2 points. Jamesy's third point of the day, delighting the fans and the saffron and blue. This is where he beat Hubert Rigney 20 metres out, made a better angle, and got his first point from play. 2 points the difference. The champions trail 12-10. Referee holding up the match. Clare down injured. Seems to be, and indeed is, Billy Dooley. Well, I think Offaly could do with the couple of moments respite, but there are still 12 minutes to play. Quite a thrilling match, and some more sideline news from Marty Morrissey.
Last throw of the dice perhaps by the Banner County at the moment. Going into the attack is Conor Clancy from Kinmaley. Not quite clear in the Clare dugout exactly who's coming off as of yet.
I think it's Danny Scanlon is coming off.
As if it is David Ford, Niall Gilligan.
We'll just have a quick check on that. Yeah, there's the man going off, and I have an idea it's Danny Scanlon. Scanlon went in for a couple of minutes, had a good chance, didn't quite make it. He's come off. So Ger Loughnane has made all the changes that he possibly can. That shot from Gary Hannafy, saved by David Fitzgerald. The champions are there with a chance still. Ollie Baker whipping it in. David Ford's in after it. They're all in after it. Clancy's there too, the number 20. And the number 10 is David Ford. A great clearance. Nicely out by Kevin Martin. Ollie Baker applies pressure. Michael Dignan taking it up onto his stick. Two sides playing as if their lives depended upon this. Certainly their season depends upon it, and the champions don't want to give up their title. But they're under pressure here. Ryan with the pass outside. That's Joe Dooley, and he's done it again. 5 points by Joe Dooley. It's an absolutely wonderful performance. We've got even more news as it's 13 points to 10.
Offaly are making another substitution to their attack. Killian Farrell from Edenderry is going in, and the man that's going to be coming off is Billy Dooley.
Yeah, as we saw, Billy was injured just a few minutes ago, so Killian Farrell coming in for his 7th championship match. A man who made his debut in 1997 at left half forward. The margin 3 points, a goal separating them. And Clare in a crisis, as we've said once before. Ollie Baker lobbing it in beyond Clancy. Markham trying to get there. Players calling for it, but the man who catches it is Martin Hannafy, blocked down. Gilligan's in there trying to get possession back, but it comes back in the end to Michael Dignan. A lengthy clearance inside there towards the fresh men in. Fergal Hegarty coming across to try and take this one up. Instead it's Brian Whalehan, head down, full of direction, gaining valuable ground. Nicely inside for Hannafy, and and that's gone over the bar. A second point by Gary Hannafy. And now Offaly are looking like the team who will take success with them at the third attempt from Semple Stadium. Still plenty of time remaining, but Hannafy's second point has opened the gap to 4 points. And this is a great catch again by Gary Hannafy, soloing away from Ollie Baker into space. Brian Lohan coming out for it. This is the other Brian Quinn, back there to Sean McMahon, delivering it down towards Niall Gilligan, operating now at left half forward, beaten for it however by Kevin Martin. Michael Duignan comes onto it. Duignan opting to kick it. He used to play football for the county. Nicely inside. They take it forward here with great purpose. Joe Erity to the other Joe Dooley. He's put it wide. Joe Dooley played here and of course was beaten in an All-Ireland final in centenary year in 1984. And the referee has seen something as that ball was being hit and he's awarding a free in, it seems. Dickie Murphy going in. It's Offaly's first free in the second half and the 8th so far. It did get a touch as it was going in there, and Dickie Murphy says that's a 65. Chance of Offaly. Wheelahan to take it. Can he put 5 points between the teams? 7 minutes to go. A crucial one by Wheelahan. Has found the range again. 3 points. Those fans must be wondering why this team wasn't doing it earlier in the year. They look a very convincing outfit right now under Michael Bond. Is there a Clare response? Are they about to surrender their title? The champions of 95, 97. Kevin Martin. Gilligan trying to get it up. Instead it's Martin again. One of the heroes when they won it last in 1994. Of course, Offaly beaten in the final by Clare in 1995, following year. Pelkington contesting there. That's nicely on by Alan Markham. Might have had a goal, instead he's watching Martin Hannamy make another fantastic clearance into the centre of the field. Markham takes it down with dash. Good ball inside there towards Conor Clancy. Can he be the difference? Couldn't take it up first time. Simon Wheelahan's there to deny him. Pilkington's there too, and not Pilkington but rather Keenan was there too, and had to be careful not to concede a penalty. Out to Brian Wheelahan. The clearance towards Gary Hannafy, running on there, collected here by the evergreen Joe Dooley, scorer of 5 points in the match. He's 65 metres out when he hits this. It drops in to the arms of David Fitzgerald. The hand pass and the stick pass rather outside to Brian Quinn. Miss hit, hooked. Gary Hannafy advancing, playing it inside here. John Ryan's coming in, denied space again. Good play by the Clare backs, but that should have been for John Ryan from Belmont. Brian Wheelahan again breaking it, this time to Johnny Pilkington. Gary Hannafy going across, looking weary. The Clare team have given it everything, but they're also looking terribly tired as Gary Hannafy hits over his third point. And with 5 minutes to go, the betting has to be on. A Kilkenny versus Offaly rematch. They met in the Leinster final. Are they now just minutes away from meeting in the All-Ireland final in 2 weeks' time? Jamesy O'Connor trying to do something about that. Clare needing a goal badly. Daly. He'll be content with this one to go over the bar, which it does. Always capable of producing something special. The captain from Clare Castle, his first point this afternoon. So now the gap has closed down to 5 points. Stephen Byrne, who's kept his side in the game with 2 fantastic saves. Clare again with Ollie Baker. They won't give up. Expect 5 minutes of intense pressure from the Banner County. Fergal Hegarty getting it in there towards David Ford. Difficult ball for him to take, however. Kevin Martin instead. But that was picked off the ground, and it's going to be a free for Clare. And this can put 4 between them. Kevin Martin adjudged, well, that ball was bouncing there initially. Now what happened next? Yes, he did pick it up. 4 minutes to go. Jamesy O'Connor points his 4th point of the day. 104 championship points in a fantastic career. This is 21st championship match. Offaly trying to almost defy the odds. Their fans certainly wanted a rematch. They got it. Hanami. Johnny Dooley trying to take it in. Stopped by a combination of Clare half-backs. Daly getting it out towards Niall Gilligan. Beyond him to David Ford. Ford sailing away from the veteran Martin Hanami. It's David Ford inside. He's fouled. Free in, 20 metres out. And now it should be down to 16-13. Kevin Martin really disappointed with the blinding pace there of David Ford. A telling factor in creating this scoring chance for Jamesy O'Connor. He'll want to take it quickly. On my watch, about 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. 5 points now for Jamesy. So now there is just a goal between the teams. Don't bet against Clare just yet. They are capable of anything, this fantastic team. But Offaly have been absolutely magnificent this afternoon. 3 wonderful games in this series. Daly gets it out to Baker. They fire it down again. Kevin Keenahan coming across. Conor Clancy trying to close him. Clancy has it up onto his hands, loses it however. Martin Hanami defiantly away to Johnny Dooley. Dooley, a huge one down. The ball comes out here and Offaly get another chance, but they've put it wide. It was a useful enough effort that fell the way there of Killian Farrell. John Redden. Johnny Pilkington breaks the stick in that clash. Nice ball up here towards John Ryan. Brian Lowen, who'll get up first. Ryan has it. Just hoping that the seconds tick on. Again, it's Farrell across the face of the goal. A minute to go, 3 points between the teams, except this week, it's Offaly who lead. And the irony of that will not be lost on the Clare fans, I'm sure. Kevin Martin. Anthony Daly beating Joe Erity to it. Outside to Ollie Baker. Low ball this time. Down towards Markham. Takes it up. There's still time for Clare. Alan Markham still going forward. Markham trying to get inside into that large rectangle. Here's the chance. It's stopped again. Fantastic save by Stephen Byrne from Fergal Haggerty. That was amazing, and this is an amazing goalkeeper. The shot there falling in the end to Fergal Haggerty. 3 wonderful goal chances, and that stopped brilliantly out for a 65. What a display. One of the best displays of goalkeeping and shot stopping we've seen. Clare created 27 chances, Offaly 31. Sean McMahon with the 65, but it's now, as you see, just into injury time. Referee may add on a couple of minutes. Johnny Pilkington. It's a huge one downfield, down to John Ryan, taking it in his stride, trying to get a inside Brian Lowen into space. Players coming onto it, Joe Erity, one of them, but he's stopped, and Ollie Baker has played his heart out in the second half. Down towards Niall Gilligan. 2 sides have given us an absolutely wonderful contest over 3 days. Shame there should have to be a loser. Right now the All-Ireland champions in trouble. Gilligan across to Jamesy O'Connor. Picks it up the second time, races past Hubert Rigney. Still Jamesy O'Connor, never scored a goal for Clare in Championship hurling. On the line there, back in by Markham, it's another 65. Oh, I hope your hearts are okay. That's 4 65s. Referee's in there very quickly, and he's had a word with his umpire. Joe Dooley has had a fantastic game this afternoon. He got 5 points, a tremendous display, as good as he's ever given in Championship hurling. Anthony Daly is about to lob this one in. They're all in after it. Clare simply have to get a goal to save the match, and it's gone wide. Stephen Byrne, one of the heroes. It's looked for a long while like it's got to be Offaly's day. We are now nearly 2 minutes in injury time. That man looks sad. Byrne knows it, it's all over. Offaly have won a fantastic, titanic struggle against Clare, and the All-Ireland champions are out. They were bidding to get into a third final in 4 years, but they've been denied by superb play. Wonderful goalkeeping by Stephen Byrne, wonderful points by Joe Dooley, 5 in all. Ollie Baker disappointed as he makes his way out. Last year, in the start of this experimental phase, it was an all-Munster final. This year, in the second year of the phase, where the beaten finalists in the provincial series get back at quarter-final level, it's going to be an all-Leinster final. For the first time ever, it's going to be Kilkenny against Offaly. Kilkenny won the last time. The question now must be, how weary, how tired are Offaly? It will be their 7th match in the championship. Stephen Byrne giving the interviews, but at the end there were just 3 points to spare, and Offaly have gone through to the final, and that will be in 2 Sundays' time, 13th of September. They'll be hoping to gain revenge for the loss in the Leinster, because this afternoon at Semple Stadium, in front of a capacity crowd, they had so many wonderful heroes and stars, and they win in the end by 16 points to 13.